Welcome to our Research and Scholarship MedBit series, produced by the Office of Faculty Development. In this video, we will cover everything you need to know about the Scientific Review Board at the Burnett School of Medicine with Dr. Kimberly Washington, our Director of Scholarship and Research. Let us first start with discussing what the Scientific Review Board, or SRB, is. The purpose of the SRB is to ensure all protocols of the School of Medicine have been vetted and to optimize research proposals for submission to the TCU IRB. The SRB reviews funding for proposals to ensure they have an acceptable standard scientific rigor prior to being submitted for TCU IRB review or to any external funding agency. The SRB does not review scholarly pursuit and thesis research projects completed by students. Any research or funding proposal must be approved by the faculty member's department chair prior to being submitted to the SRB. Please make sure you have the following information at the time of submitting the online submission form to the SRB. The first and last name of the primary researcher. This must be a faculty member at the Burnett School of Medicine. Email address, sponsoring department, attestation of department chair approval, institutional affiliation of primary investigator, research team member names, degrees, and institutions, your proposal title, an abstract of the research proposal and disclosure if your project will include TCU student-level data. Lastly, your research proposal will need to be attached to the SRB submission form in Word format and should include a copy of any research instruments and consent protocols. And all SRB submissions must be made 15 days prior to the TCU IRB scheduled date or external funding agency deadline. Now we will discuss the required elements of an SRB proposal. The SRB proposal template consists of 5 major sections. These are the following: your problem, introduction, methods, data collection and proposed analysis, and lastly, the project timeframe. Now we will take a closer look at each of these sections. The problem should be a concise statement or paragraph, which describes the nature of the problem you intend to investigate. Your problem statement should not include significant background information of prior research in this area. The introduction section should cover background information on your topic of study. This includes what is present in the current body of literature regarding your topic, with listed references. Your introduction section should additionally make clear what information is unknown in your topic of study. Ideally, your research question will attempt to answer one or more of these unknowns. Your proposal introduction should include a theoretical framework that provides a foundational review of what is currently believed to be true about your topic, and it serves as a roadmap for the arguments being made in the study. Lastly, your introduction section should explain how your study adds to what we already know in a way that prior or similar studies have not. State specifically what you intend to find with your research, and describe the specific questions you intend for the study to answer. If your study has more than one question, you should list them all. The methods section should include the following information: the study design. For more details regarding study design, please review our How to Form a Research Question video in our channel. Participant inclusion criteria are characteristics that the subject of your study must have if they are to be included in the study. Exclusion criteria are those characteristics that disqualify subjects from inclusion in the study. Your recruitment plan will describe how subjects in your study will be recruited, including detailed information on the materials used. In this section, you will include exact wording or exact documents of advertisements. This section will also include the number of participants power analysis, or a statistical calculation that determines the minimum sample size needed for an experiment. More information about this can be found in our Statistics 101 video in our channel. You will also need to disclose if IRB approval is needed. There are 8 federally defined exempt categories that do not require IRB approval. They are research conducted in established or commonly accepted educational settings that specifically involve normal educational practices that are not likely to adversely impact students' opportunity to learn, required educational content, or the assessment of educators who provide instruction. research that only includes interactions involving educational tests, survey procedures, interview procedures, or observation of public behavior. Research involving behavioral interventions in conjunction with the collection of information from an adult subject through verbal or written responses or audiovisual recording. Secondary research, for which consent is not required. Research and demonstration projects that are conducted or supported by a federal department agency or otherwise subject to the approval of department or agency heads, and that are designed to study, evaluate, improve, or otherwise examine public benefit or service programs. Taste and food quality evaluation and consumer acceptance studies, storage or maintenance for secondary research for which broad consent is required, and lastly, secondary research for which broad consent is required. The methods section will also include a description of where your research will be conducted, a list of risks to the subjects inherent in the design of your study, details on how the data will be collected and stored, and describe the reliability or whether research methods can be reproduced in a different environment, and the presence or absence of internal and external validity of your project. The data collection and proposed analysis section will include the following: how the data is collected, stored, and protected. If this data includes student identifying information, you must be very detailed regarding how that information will be collected and stored, and who will have access to that information. Additionally, you must describe what will happen to the data once the study is complete, including how it will be destroyed or if the data will be banked. If any statistical tests are used to address each hypothesis, describe what statistical analysis will be performed on the data you collect. Finally, your SRB proposal will need to include a time frame. This will include information on how long it will take to complete the study and an estimated time for each step of the study. Please see the Burnett School of Medicine policy for using student data below. If any student data will be used in your study, a description of the plan to coordinate with our Office of Assessment and Evaluation must be provided along with your plan to guarantee student data confidentiality. Now we will cover how your SRB proposal will be evaluated. SRB submissions will be reviewed and judged based on the following criteria: the clarity of your research question, rigor and feasibility of methods, adequacy of institutional agreements necessary to facilitate the research, appropriateness and efficiency of design, scholarship and pertinence of background material and rationale, resources available to the research team that are necessary to conduct the research, the validity of your statistical analysis plan, the qualification and expertise of the research team, and finally, adequacy of sample size and relevant controls. So what's next for your SRB proposal? If external reviewers are required, the researcher will be notified within 7 days of this determination. An additional 10 days are required for review and decision if external review is deemed necessary. If full SRB review is required, the SRB chair will communicate directly with the principal investigator to notify of the anticipated timeline of SRB response. Once approved, the researcher should report progress to their department chair no later than every 12-month period from the formal approval of the project. Any and all granting of continuation approval, modifications, and/or revisions should be reported to the departmental chair and SRB chair within 4 academic weeks of such action. The current members of the SRB are as follows: Dr. Stuart Flynn, serving as the SRB chair, Dr. Jennifer Alley, Mike Burness, Dr. Kevin Kidder, Dr. Joanna Luke, Dr. Greg Kearns, Dr. Imran Siddiqui, Dr. Natalie Lundstein, and Dr. Craig Keaton. Thank you for watching this video. For direct contact with the SRB, please email mdsrb@tcu.edu. For additional guidance, please reach out to the Office of Faculty Development.